Good morning. This is Pastor Jason of Kona Faith Center with the word for today. And the word for today is a question. Does the Old Testament apply to us today? Samuel told Saul that if Saul had been the kind of man that the Lord wants and obeyed his commands, then the Lord would have established Saul's kingdom forever. Can we extrapolate from this story about Samuel and Saul that God is looking for us to be the kind of people that he wants, the kind of people who will obey him? Can we extrapolate from the story that if we become those kinds of people that God wants and obey him, that he will establish us in our destiny? Now, I like the New King James Version translation of this. The Lord has sought for himself a man after his own heart. Is God still looking for people after his own heart? In Isaiah today, it says, "Be just. Do what is right." The person who obeys and does what the Lord wants, the person that has a man after his own heart, keeps his agreement, God blesses them. Can we extrapolate from Isaiah that if we obey and do what the Lord wants, that if we keep his agreement, that if we are just, that if we do what is right, that God will bless us? In Isaiah today, it says to join ourselves to the Lord, worship him, love him, serve him, obey him, keep his agreement. Then he brings us to his holy mountain. Then he gives us joy in his house of prayer. Then our offerings and sacrifices will please him. Then he will protect and bless us. Can we extrapolate from Isaiah that if we join ourselves to the Lord, worship him, love him, serve him, obey him, keep his agreements, that he will bring to us joy, that he will bring us to himself, that he will be pleased with our offerings and sacrifice, that he will protect and bless us? In Isaiah, it says to build a road, prepare the way, make the way clear for people to come to the Lord. He gives new life to those who are humble. He will guide, he will heal, he will give peace. Can we extrapolate that God will give us new life, that he will guide us, that he will heal us, that he will give us peace? Now, I remember being told by a group of ministers that you can't apply the Old Testament promises to your life. Now, of course, this group thought the Old Testament was abrogated or nullified or was no longer valid, but I think the Bible is one story, not two. I think we can approach the Lord and ask that what he has done before, that he will do for us. 1 Corinthians, it tells us that what was written was for our instruction, upon whom the end of the ages have come. So when I read the Bible, old and new, any promise that I come across, any if-then statement, I always think it's worth asking the Lord, how does this apply to me? Many of the promises the Lord have given me come from the Old Testament. I find that the Lord does guide. The Lord does heal. The Lord does give peace. The Lord does give new life. The Lord does protect. The Lord does bless when I join myself to him, when I worship him, when I love him, when I serve him, when I obey him, when I keep his agreement, when I allow him to turn me into a man after his own heart. So the answer for today's question is yes. Search carefully for his promises in the whole Bible, for he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. God bless. Check in tomorrow.